Hello folks and welcome to today's vlog. We are at the hospital in Spalding. Don't panic, we're here for the dietitian. What you might recall is this was the location of the most recent really difficult day that we had with Andy, where we just couldn't get him to walk through the car park, couldn't get him to go in. Last time we were here he really didn't want to be here at all. He is feeling much more cooperative today though. You alright, Andy?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Asleep. Sleeping doctor, relax.
He wants to go and lie on the bed in there because that's what he did last time. But we're here for his checkup on his weight and his diet. There have been some changes since the last time we were here to talk about what he's been eating. He's stopped eating the Rice Krispies and custard, which is where he was getting his vitamins from. He's stopped eating as many crisps because of the issue on the crisp packets, but he has started eating potato waffles. He's started eating chocolate in the form of Easter eggs, only in the form of Easter eggs and chocolate rabbits. And also he's started trying a little bit of our dinner every day. So there's some positives and some negatives. I'm hoping he's put on a little bit of weight and that the positives outweigh the negatives, but we shall find out in a moment.
Wink.
How much longer are you going to be able to sit like that for?
Winky eye.
Is he still going to be doing that when he's 23?
Wink. Wink. Careful. Okay. Winky. Go lift afterwards. The bed. Winky.
You're obsessed with the winks.
Below. Oh. No.
The appointment was a roaring success. More on that in a moment, because first, despite the fact we're on the ground floor for the appointment and we need to be on the ground floor to leave, he has discovered on recent trips that there is a lift in here. So expect a short Through Andy's Eyes video later today of him going up and down in this lift. So appointment sorted, journey in the lift sorted, and as mentioned it was a roaring success. His weight is up to 34.4 kilos, which a little bit of mental arithmetic tells me is just under 5.5 stone, which is the weight he was back in November before he got poorly and lost all that weight and got down as low as 4.5 stone. So he's back up to his proper sort of manageable weight. They were happy with where his weight was before, but now they're really happy that he's put it all back on to get back where he was sort of 4 or 5 months ago. Food wise, it's obviously not ideal that he's stopped eating so many crisps and has moved on to waffles. Purely from a protein point of view, we did lots of number crunching in there. One bag of crisps has 2.3 grams of protein in, whereas one potato waffle has 1.1 gram of protein in. Because he's also stopped eating the Rice Krispies and custard as regularly, he's running on almost a 10 gram per day protein deficit now, which we could fill with chocolate because he started eating chocolate Easter eggs. So they've given us the all clear to fill him with as much chocolate as he can eat. They're happy with him eating chocolate. It's apparently full of vitamins and minerals and nutrients. So we're going to increase his chocolate consumption, just don't tell his dentist. And she's also asked us to start trying to get milk back into him again. Up until a couple of years ago, like maybe 3-4 years ago, he was still drinking whole milk out of a baby's bottle 3, 4, 5 times a day. But one day the teat broke on the bottle. We couldn't find a direct replacement for that bottle. He wouldn't move on to a different type of bottle, so he just stopped drinking milk altogether. But in theory, we know he can tolerate milk, we know he'll drink milk. So starting from today, we're going to try and get him back onto milk, but through a cup, and mix his vitamin supplement in with that, because he's not getting as much vitamins because he's not eating the Rice Krispies and custard that he was having before. If we can get him having like 1 beaker of milk a day plus a small chocolate bar in addition to what he's already eating, then his vitamins and minerals and protein are all going to be where they need to be, and with his weight going back up as well, it's all massively positive. She doesn't want to see us again until July now, Job done. Now we have a social worker meeting. We are now home, and there was a parcel waiting for me. Thank you, whoever sent me a Twitter pillow. I think it's one of you lot. I was talking about them last week. I added like Twitter, Facebook, YouTube pillows to my Amazon wish list, but Anna tells me she also looked at a load and isn't sure if she bought it. So this might be thank you Anna, or it might be thank you one of you lot. There's no note. Thank you whoever got me the Twitter pillow. It came to the home address, so it must have been through the Amazon wish list or through Anna. So it didn't come to the PO box.
But it was really late, so I don't remember if I did.
So Anna might have bought it, but either way, I now have a Twitter pillow, which, you know, white and light blue, that's not going to stain, is it? Look how foggy it is. It's 5:10 in the evening and that has not let up all day. It's ridiculous. I'm talking to you from the car for 3 reasons. Reason number 1, the social worker has only left in the last half an hour or so. That's the real reason my Football Manager video was late yesterday. It wasn't technical issues, but I couldn't figure out a way to put in a tweet that the social worker was still there because we were having a really long, quite challenging discussion at times. So I had to then rush out to the shop. So this is the first opportunity I've had to talk to you about that. Secondly, I've had a couple of copyright notices come through for videos where I've recorded bits to camera in the living room while Andy's got something playing on his iPad in the background, and I can't afford to have loads of videos demonetised, so I'm going to minimise how much I do that. Don't worry, Andy will still feature on the vlogs a lot, but it will be when it's just me talking to you. I won't have him in the background playing stuff, because when he's actually on camera then I can control what's on there. When he's just in the background while I'm chatting to you, then I don't necessarily notice what he's listening to, and I just want to try and minimise the demonetisation stuff. And thirdly, off the back of the dietitian's appointment this morning, I need to go and find some giraffe milk, which is the milk that we're going to get him to start drinking. It's because he has to have lactose-free stuff, because it's Trump smell if he has cow's milk. So it's lactose-free milk with loads of added vitamins and stuff like that. It's Alpro and has a giraffe on the side apparently. I've been sent to buy giraffe milk. This feels like the kind of prank you give to the work experience boy. Kev, go and get some giraffe milk and some tartan paint and some sky hooks while you're there. But giraffe milk I will go and buy, plus some little bars of chocolate. We need chocolate bars that are as thin as Easter eggs, so that they snap in the same way Easter egg chocolate does. I think I've already talked to you lot about this, but we've had this conversation with the dietitian. I've had it with Anna on the way home from the dietitian, and then we've basically recited that appointment to the social worker as well. And I think I told you lot, so I think I've talked 4 times now about the milk and the chocolate and all that stuff. If I haven't mentioned it to you earlier in the day, let's cut to future Kev at some point, probably later on this evening, having that conversation with you. I'm going to assume we didn't have to cut to future Kev, because I think we must have had that conversation. But the social worker thing, that all went fine, because of the weight that Andy's gained and all the incredible improvements that he's been having, which I think we're crediting a lot of those to the compression vests that we talked about the other week. There's a link to those down in the description below. They were sent to us by a company called Calmwear. They're not paying us to talk about them. However, they did send us the vest for free. 3 vests for free. 3 free. 3. I still can't do my THs properly, and they are awesome. I think he's being a lot more cooperative than he was before. We were able to duck into a sandwich shop on the way back from Subway. Not just, well, we didn't have like burgers or anything. We went to Subway because we can get healthy options there. So we went to Subway on the way home completely unannounced, and he just rolled with it and got some crisps while he was there. So apparently he eats crisps at Subway, just not at home anymore. And there's been a few other things. The church the other day, when he went to the church, and it was the social worker really was surprised when we told her the story of us going to the church, it being closed, and him just saying let's go to another one then. I know we talked about it at the time as being quite a big deal. I think she gave us the context of just how much of a big deal that is, because we're so close to it. Sometimes we don't recognise when stuff is massive. That really was massive. If you didn't see that video, description, it'll be down there. But that was a massive thing, and I think a lot of it is down to the compression vests. Obviously he's had the medication that he started taking in the last year, which has taken the edge off, and the compression vests have just pushed him that little bit further into being really cooperative and calmer, and his anxiety symptoms are lessening, and it's all good stuff. So today's social worker appointment was about updating his, I forget what they call it, his assessment, his need statement thing. It hasn't been done for 2 years. Goodness me, has a lot changed in that time. So a lot of it was going through and just bringing stuff up to date. We all knew what needed updating, but it's easier just to do it sat around a table or sat around chairs like we did it in the living room. But there were a couple of, because all the immediate issues are now dealt with, there's nothing immediately wrong. He's at school, he's eating, he's gaining weight, he's healthy. There's nothing immediately wrong. So we're starting to think a little bit more long term. Firstly, slightly longer term, they're going to look into getting him a couple of extra respite days, which is always good. It always helps prepare him for independent living, helps with that transition, and also gives us as a family that time to do other stuff as well, the stuff that we can't do when Andy's with us, like going to the cinema, like going out for meals, that kind of thing. But then the conversation kind of went round to even longer term than that. Specifically, point one, what are our plans for if Anna dies? We don't really have a plan. I mean, the answer we gave was, obviously we want him to stay with me, but I'm no relation to him. I'm not his dad, I'm not married to Anna, I've never adopted him, Anna doesn't have a will. The social worker thinks that based on family circumstances, I could probably make a very strong case and keep him, but it did kind of prompt us to, again, now that all the immediate stuff is dealt with for now, sort of the eye of the storm almost, we can probably divert some attention towards, at the very least, getting Anna sorted out of a will, which legally might not be enough, but also look into what the process would be for me adopting him, because there's no reason not to, really. And it would just make things a lot easier if something did happen to Anna. Plus, he turns 14 this summer, so age 14 we can get him on the list for adult social services, and we were asked if we wanted them to do that, and very tentative early conversations about what our options might be when he turns 18, 19, again when he turns 25, and starting to think about what our longer term plans for him are, because it's been difficult to think long term for a little while. And we need to start thinking, I mean, from Anna's point of view, she would keep him with us forever. From a selfish point of view, she would keep him with us forever. But I think even Anna is starting to recognise now that that won't be what's best for him. The social worker suggested the same thing. I, for sure, have been suggesting the same thing for quite a while, that he needs as much independence as we can get him. So that's what we need to be working towards, because what we don't want is a scenario where me and Anna die when Andy's 40 and all he's ever known is living with us, and then age 40 he needs to figure out how to live on his own, because that would be awful, especially without us there to help support him do that. So I think as soon as he's done with school, we need to start preparing him for that transition towards a level of independence that he'll be capable of having at the time. We obviously don't know what his situation will be at the time, but that transition will be a lot easier on him if we're there to support him with the transition, and sort of gradually withdraw our support on a day-to-day basis. And it's a difficult conversation and a difficult topic to be thinking about, but I guess that whole process kind of starts this summer when Andy turns 14, and we get to start thinking about that a little bit more. So that's going to be fun. Right, I need to go and buy giraffe milk. Turns out it wasn't a prank. You join us in the midst of a little bit of a battle.
David, no!
Not between us and Dave, but the dietitian suggested that Andy has a shot glass full of milk with his sampling of our dinner every night, and he has to drink that before he goes on burnout. He's had a few little sips, a few little licks, he's gagged a lot, but he doesn't seem to be drinking it, which means he's not going to get to play burnout, and he's not best pleased about it. Andy, you're going to drink your milk?
No.
But you want to play burnout?
No.
So no burnout then?
Yes, burnout.
You have to drink your milk.
Well, one more time.
You have to drink it all, baby. It's just milk. It's nice. Good boy. That's it. That's better.
You have to drink it all.
One more, one more, one more.
it.
One.
Just all of it. It's good. Good boy. I know. It's just milk. It's just milk.
The end.
Well then, no burnout.
Burnout.
You have to drink it all.
Better. I don't want it.
And last one.
You have to drink it all.
And last one.
Let's finish it. That's good. It's just milk, little man. It's okay. Milk is white.
Milk is red. And we'll stop recording. Excellent.
Nearly done. Nearly finished it, Andy. Good boy.
Go on, last little bit, then you can play burnout.
Come on. I know. He's getting there, baby. Good boy. Hi. Good boy.
And the last one.
No, come on, we need to finish it. We're going to count until it's finished. That's 5.
And the last one, we have 6.
Drink it all then. 6.
10.
And then 7.
8.
Oh no.
Let's take a look at some of the pointless answers. These are technically few, but we'll take a look at a few of them. These would have been given also.
13.
One more. 2 more.
14. Are you drinking it?
No, he's just putting it against his lips now.
And the one
No,
more.
You have to drink it, Andy.
50.
Drink it all.
15.
15.
And the last one.
You know when he's actually taking a mouthful because he retches.
16.
16.
It has to go in your mouth, Andy. You have to swallow it.
All of it. Come on. In your mouth. Good boy. 16.
One more.
Got a few more to do.
And 20.
Come on. Let's see what if we
And then play burnout.
Yeah, once you've drunk it all, you can play burnout.
18.
So one more time.
18. Good boy. Good boy. 18.
Nah, one more.
Come on. Nearly there.
2 more.
All of it. 19.
One more.
Drink it all then. Was it all gone?
20.
20. Come on, these snowies. All go.
Mummy, do
Come
it.
on, you. Oh, good boy.
Well done. There you go. Now you can play burnout. Well done. Well, it took 27 minutes and a lot of persuasion, but he drank the milk.
Well done, I'm very good.
Yes, well done, Andy. That was very good. And now you can play burnout.
Yeah.
Yeah? Good. You happy now?
Yeah.
Come here. Good boy. Come here. Good boy. Well done. Good boy.
Anyway, now that mission is accomplished, we are going to call it there on today's vlog because I need to sit and edit this together now, in addition to recording a Football Manager video once Andy goes down to bed, because tomorrow I have a full day down in Stratford in London and an exciting adventure that you'll find out a lot more about on tomorrow's vlog. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for more daily vlogs, and thank you very much for watching.
Boy.
You are good boy.
Is it good?
Yes.
Good.
Good. Recorded stuff.